Professor Dave again. Let's learn the pluperfect subjunctive tense.
He knows a lot about all kinds of stuff. Professor Dave explains.
I know you are probably sick and tired of the subjunctive mood by now. But don't worry, there is just one more tense to learn. And if we remember the imperfect subjunctive, this will be a pretty simple one. This is the pluperfect subjunctive, also known as Trapassato Congiuntivo, implying more past than the past. To understand when this is used, let's recall that when the main clause uses a primary tense, the dependent clause can be in one of two tenses. If the two actions are contemporaneous, we will use the present. Io credo che lui arrivi alle 2. If the action in the dependent clause happens before the action in the main clause, we use the past subjunctive. Io credo che lui sia arrivato alle 2. Now let's switch gears and look at what happens when we have a main clause with a secondary or historical tense. Once again, we can have the possibility of having a dependent clause with contemporaneous action or prior action. Fortunately, we have another tense up our sleeve, the pluperfect subjunctive, or Trapassato Congiuntivo. Just like the pluperfect indicative, this tense describes an action that is more in the past than another action that is already in the past. And this is exactly what we need here, but simply in the subjunctive mood. So we use pluperfect subjunctive rather than pluperfect indicative. Trapassato is a compound tense, and just like the passato, it is formed with the auxiliary verb, either avere or essere, in the subjunctive mood, which will be the imperfect subjunctive we already learned, followed by the past participle. If you need to review the rules for the past participle, go back to our lesson on passato prossimo, as those rules will still apply for trapassato congiuntivo. We will simply be using the participle with the imperfect subjunctive instead. Let's conjugate two verbs through trapassato congiuntivo now, starting with parlare. Che io avessi parlato. Che tu avessi parlato. Che lui o lei avesse parlato. Che noi avessimo parlato. Che voi aveste parlato. Che loro avessero parlato. Now for andare. Che io fossi andato o andata. Che tu fossi andato o andata. Che lui fosse andato o lei fosse andata. Che noi fossimo andati o andate. Che voi foste andati o andate. Che loro fossero andati o andate. So as we said, for all of these, the auxiliary verb, either avere or essere, is conjugated into imperfect subjunctive. So recall that only first and second person singular look the same. And then we must recall that when the auxiliary verb is avere, we don't have to worry about the participle agreeing with the verb, unless a direct object pronoun precedes the verb. But if the auxiliary verb is essere, then there must be an agreement in number and gender, hence the different endings we just saw when conjugating andare. Let's look at just a couple examples to cement things a little further. Era strano che loro non fossero venuti. Era strano che la mamma non avesse comprato I cannoli. Era strano che la mamma non li avesse trovati. And with that, we are finally done with the subjunctive mood. We had to learn 4 tenses, special cases, and the sequence of tenses. But if you can get comfortable with all of these, you will absolutely sound like a convincing native Italian speaker, as even Italians sometimes have trouble keeping all of these tenses straight. To truly finish things off, let's check comprehension. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Support me on Patreon so I can keep making content. And as always, feel free to email me, ProfessorDaveExplains@gmail.com.